Hi, welcome to Made to Heal with Angela Brown. So, we've talked about all the six senses before. Now, the seventh sense is imagination. So, this is my last one that I'm going over for the senses, but imagination is important. It's something that we all had when we were children, but as we get older, we kind of lose sight of it. Some adults are better at imagination than others. Some, it's just a gift and they see things, they imagine things, they have a great imagination. These are your artists, creative people out there. I have fought to work at my imagination skills because I feel like I was completely closed off. I know I had it as a child, lots clearer and better, but I lost sight of it and I've had to work at it. But let me tell you, it's like anything else. When you work at it, it gets stronger. So I'm going to share some stories that kind of stood out because imagination is something that we can develop. Whatever it is you don't have in life, but you want, you can bring it into fruition by the power of your thoughts. Thoughts are incredible. Imagination, thoughts, it all goes together, right? So just focus on maybe where your thoughts are for the majority of the day. Are they more pessimistic or are they optimistic? We're going to have pessimistic thoughts. That is the human nature in us. Is when you walk in a room, your eyes are going to be drawn to the mess of the situation or the thing that annoys you more than uh, you going, oh, I'm grateful for this, or that's just human nature. It's just, I don't care who you are or how positive you think you are, we're automatically as human beings drawn to the stuff that we don't like. So but we can rewire our brains and reprogram our brains to look for the good in things and to find the positives and to replace the complaining with gratitude. So I don't remember where this story came from. I just remember my dad told uh, the family a story when I was growing up, and it has stuck with me ever since. He talked about a man that was working a shift at night by himself, and he was working with freezers. And you definitely didn't want to get shut in these freezers, right? Or you'd freeze to death. Well, he talked about how this guy had got shut in a freezer and he couldn't let himself out, and he started. This guy panicked, and the next morning, the next day, when they found him, he was dead. Um, and the thing of it is, though, the freezer was not plugged in, so he didn't freeze to death. That wasn't the cause of his death. The cause of his death was his internal thinking. I'm trapped in this freezer that I'm going to freeze to death. And it was completely unplugged. So he didn't freeze to death and he would have been just fine had he not, had he calmed his mind and just assessed the situation before freaking out, right? And we should always, in every stressful situation, try to approach it as calm as we can. Mindful breathing helps tremendously in every situation. So just if you find yourself hyperventilating or going crazy, you just take in those deep breaths, close your eyes, give yourself a minute and take in deep breaths through your nose. Hold it, and let it out. Again, you just do it several times in a row until the last time you just hold it as long as you can. You hold that breath and you hold and you hold and you hold and you hold. And then you let it out. So mindful breathing helps every situation relax. So this guy died of something that he shouldn't have died of. He just was in a freezer stuck, and because of his thoughts, they found him dead the next morning. So I'm going to share another story that had nothing to do with me, but I had always remembered that story and the importance of the mind, but I kind of forgot about it. I heard that story several years ago until I started studying about the brain and learning about the importance of thoughts. And I remember one night, my husband and I, he tends to be a night owl, and I tend to be, oh my gosh, it's 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock. It's way past my bedtime. I need to go to bed. And so I remember it was just a frigid, cold winter night, and I was freezing. And I went to bed, and I love going to bed when my husband goes to bed because, I snuggle and he's my warm teddy bear. Well, he was going to stay up and watch a movie, and so I'm like, I'm going to bed. I go to bed, and I literally, my teeth were chattering, and I was just shaking, and I was in lots of blankets, and I just still couldn't warm up. And I was just shaking, and I don't know if you've ever had that where your teeth chatter. I mean, I get that cold. I get cold. And so I just remember, as my teeth are chattering, I remember, hey, I've been studying the brain. I've been studying the power of thoughts. Like, let's put this to the test. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I am so grateful for, I just imagined myself being on a beach where the sun is beating down on my back and my toes are digging into the hot sand. And I was just picking up the hot dirt in my hand. And oh, you guys have been to the beach, hopefully. I hope you can relate with me. But the warm sand, just the warmth. I just imagined the warmth. And then I just imagined my toes, from the toes on up to the rest of my body, just feeling this warmth of being on the beach and this hot sun pounding on my back. And it just felt so good. I am not even kidding, but in under 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it was less than a few minutes. In under 3 minutes, I was so toasty warm. My teeth were done chattering, and I felt so good. I had in my mind created heat, and it warmed me, and I felt so good. So when you find yourself in a situation you do not like, remember, the power of your thoughts are incredible. Switch them from the negative to the positive. Switch it to exactly, be specific in your mind of how you want it. How do you want the situation with, maybe you have a relationship that is struggling. Maybe it's with a spouse, maybe it's with a child, maybe it's with a sibling. Think of one of those relationships that's just struggling, and imagine that relationship healed, and imagine that relationship exactly how you would like it. Imagine a healing conversation going on between the two of you. Even though if it doesn't even take place in real life, just imagine exactly how you want that relationship to be healed. And imagine just, what would you be saying? What would you be doing? Just imagine what you want to have fruition. And you guys, the power of thoughts are incredible because we are in control. I just call this our mothership, right? Our body is our mothership. And in here, this whole brain that we have inside our body, it is like the control board, that makes everything work and move in our body. So we are in control of this more than we think. I wished I would have understood this and realized this in my teen years, because I can tell you right now, I wouldn't have bought into all the lies. I wouldn't have bought into the I'm not good enough and all of that crap that's going out there, right? And I don't know that I would have been depressed and had suicidal thoughts, because we control this. We get to control this, and we get to imagine. We get to imagine our life better than what it is now. If we are upset about how something is working, honestly, look in the mirror, because that is the person I mean, not that the blaming game is good, but when you look in the mirror, you're not loving your life, and you because this was where I was at several years ago. I did not love life. I did not like anything that was going on around me, and I was so upset, and I was bitter, and I was resentful, and I had all this yuck stored up in me. I didn't realize that I had the power to change that. I didn't realize that I got to choose something different. I got to be in control. And so when I learned the importance of thoughts, and I started telling myself I'm beautiful, because I literally thought I was one of the ugliest people on the planet. I will get into that a different day if I haven't already, but I'm going to remind people. I will do it in another video because it is so important. But I had all these negative things going on, and I didn't think I was worthy. And then when I learned how to control my thoughts, how I learned that if I didn't like what was going up here, I could change it. I had that power. And so when we change our thoughts, we change our world. When we change our thoughts, we change our words. When we change our words, we change our actions. It is just the snowball effect, right? We get to change whatever it is we don't like in our lives. Financially, health-wise, with our physical health, spirituality, emotional, mental, all of these things we get to change. We get to change because we are in control. Our bodies have to do what we tell it, right? The thoughts tell the body what to do. And if you're feeling sick, because we all have dis-ease in our bodies going on. How do we have dis-ease going on? We have dis-ease because we got offended about what somebody said about us, or we have dis-ease because we're really annoyed about how that person in public, we don't even know, but we gave them our power, we gave them our energy away because we're really annoyed at how they acted. Or the driver that cut us off in traffic, we got upset. Okay, those create dis-ease within our body. Anything that is against God's love, anything that is against the power of God, God's love, pure Christ-like love, anything that is opposite or not in alignment with that, we are at dis-ease. And if we don't take care of that dis-ease within our bodies, then it will later create disease. So it is so important for you to know that you have the power. You have the power to take control through imagination of imagine your life exactly how you want it. How you want it. Loving relationships. A happy, positive, cheerful attitude in everything you reach. I'm still working at it, you guys. I don't have everything down perfect, but I do have the tools that have helped me be where I'm at today. And boy, I love life, and I am so grateful each morning I wake up. I am so grateful for the chance to live. You see, I have had at least 40 extra years of my life that I was told, that my parents were told, that we wouldn't, when I say we, my twin sister and I, that we wouldn't live past, most likely wouldn't live past the age of 10. It would be a miracle if we made it past 5. And we weren't supposed to live past the age of 2. I'm 47 and I have all these extra years of life, and I am so grateful. I didn't have this grateful attitude 10 plus years ago, because I was dealing with depression, I was dealing with trauma, I was dealing with all of this stuff that I didn't know how to process. And when I found out that the power of my thoughts could change my world literally, and you know what? It didn't happen overnight. I had my whole household. Boy, if mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. Have you heard that saying? I was not a happy camper at all. I was miserable. So can you guess what my household was like? My husband was miserable and my children were miserable. And it was because of how I treated them. And yes, they are accountable, and they get to be accountable for how they show up in life as well. But when I wasn't a healthy version of myself, it was not fun to be around, and it was hard. And it didn't take a few days, it didn't take a few weeks, it didn't take a few months. It was literally about 4 years into changing myself, into working on my mind, my heart, my soul, my spirit, my spirituality, my emotions, my mental state of mind and my physical body. It wasn't until I worked on myself for over 4 years. It could have been three and a half. I'm thinking it was closer to 4 years or more, to where my husband said, I want to be where you're at. Show me, help me. And he says to this day, he's like, never in my life did I ever think I would come to you for advice, because I didn't want to hear from you. All you did was nag, or you didn't have anything positive coming out of your mouth. He didn't want to hear it. But here I was working so hard at how I spoke, how I thought, paying attention to my thoughts and rewiring my brain. And I am still working on rewiring my brain. But you guys, it is night and day difference. It truly has been a miracle how my life has transformed. And it all started with the help of Jesus Christ. When I hit rock bottom, I literally called on his name several times. And don't ask me why it took several times, but it took several times. And I kind of have an idea of why it took several times, because I grew up in a family that I went to church every week. I was taught. I knew better. I just didn't have the tools that I needed to help me heal. And I didn't know how, because when you're raised in a certain situation and then you have life traumas happen to you, and I chose to be the victim, and I was stuck, and I just didn't know how to heal. And so when I learned how to take control of my thoughts and to watch them, and to, there's still sometimes where I feel like, oh, whoa, I'm not paying attention to what's going on here. Let me take back the reins. We have that power. We have the power to stop whatever it is we're not liking. If we notice our body's not feeling good inside, emotional wise, what are we doing to contribute to that? What are we choosing? And taking full ownership of it all. This went on a whole different thing than I had imagined. I don't have a script that I follow. I just talk from my heart. And I am a firm believer of, we can all heal. It takes God and Christ is what it took in my journey. So I will never deny the fact. They are why I am who I am today. Jesus Christ and God. I am so, so grateful for them, because they have shown me the tools and the way. And I just, I don't want to know where I'd be without that knowledge that they've given me. And so I'm grateful. So imagination goes way beyond that, right? Imagination. So I've caught myself telling people, oh, I wished I had that artistic side in me. I wished I had that. We all do in different ways. We all are creative. We all create, right? We are God's children, and he is the master designer and creator. I mean, look around you and tell me different. Okay. He created everything in our world that we get to enjoy. And so we have that in us too. We can tap into that and just work at it. Work at, what it is you want. Take a note, take a inventory. That's the word I'm looking for. Take an inventory of where you're at in your life right now. Are you happy spiritually? Are you happy where you're at emotionally? Are you happy where you're at mentally? Are you happy where you are at physically? If not, what is it you want? Get specific. What do you want? Imagine it. Write it down. Imagine it and live it as if you have it already. I know it's hard. Like, I don't have financial freedom. I don't have this. I don't have the health that I want. I know. I've been there. It's hard to imagine something that you don't have, but it's possible. Because when we do it, when we imagine it, and when our brains are getting to work, rewiring, our bodies have to conform to our thoughts. Our body and our reality around us will conform to our thoughts. So keep that in mind. Imagination is powerful. That one last story I would like to share with you, because My husband is so imaginative. I love his imagination. He's a dreamer at night. He dreams a lot of different dreams than me. I'm like, I don't remember my dream. It's very far and few. And when I have dreams, I feel like they are like dreams that are for me and they have meaning to them. And so I don't dream a lot. And so I've kind of like, gosh, that would be so cool to dream every night. And so he has this vivid imagination. And so I remember laying in bed one night with him and he was like, okay, he's like, imagine with me that we're in outer space or we're flying above, you know, flying in the air 30 feet above, and then, 300 feet above, and then 3,000 feet above. Like he literally, and I'm like, oh, I can't get there. And he's like, okay, just, you see the ceiling, close your eyes. In your mind, you're going to imagine the ceiling coming off. And it was a gorgeous night, right? You could see the stars so good. It wasn't a full moon, but so he's like, just imagine the ceiling getting lifted off and we're just hovering and we're flying, and here, take my hand. And we took each other's hand in my mind and we were just flying and we got to go visit different places in the world. He was like, okay, we're going to go over here. And he was explaining everything with detail. And that's something that I struggle with, but I am learning how to do. So he would explain each place, and in my mind, I could visualize it. So if you have a hard time, pick up some poetry, pick up some books that will spark the imagination, because we all have it. It just sometimes needs to be rekindled with different things. So children have the best imagination, and we need to become more like children. Children are just amazing and they expect good things, and we too can expect good things out of our lives. It's going to take imagination, because when we get stuck in the reality of things, we just can't see any different. And it's hard to visualize more positive things going on when our world is crumbling around us. Hold on, guys. Have faith. Have have clarity. Know exactly what it is you want. We are supposed to have hope. When we have hope, our faith kicks in, and when we have faith, we get into action, and it's just the snowball of energy that builds. And invite God and Christ along on the journey. Have them help you. It is amazing to where they can take us when we have that faith and hope. So that's my whole take on imagination. You get to really make a difference. Remember that story I shared. I was frigid cold, and within under 3 minutes, I was toasty warm and so comfortable. It was because of the power of my thoughts. The power of your thoughts are incredible. Don't ever underestimate your thoughts. That's why it's important to look at everybody around us and not judge them. It's important to look at them with love and think, this is the best that they have to show and to offer this world. I am so grateful. I love them. Send love, send thoughts of gratitude and love. And you not only change your world, but your thoughts are changing their world. Thoughts are energy, thoughts are powerful. I didn't realize that our thoughts are so powerful. If you're struggling with a child, struggling with a spouse, struggling with any relationship, change your thoughts towards that person. Change your thoughts towards that person and include thoughts of love, thoughts of encouragement, thoughts of gratitude. Everybody has good in them. Everybody does. The most hardened criminals out there that are sitting in prisons, and that are even in prisons that are where they're self-contained because they are so bad. Okay, everybody has good in them. Everybody has that soft spot in them, and it's our job to help those that are hurting people around us. Those that are suffering the most in this world need our love the most. And it starts with yourself. Self-love, it really does. If you don't have love for yourself, there's no way you can share that love outside yourself. So if you struggle with self-love, that's something that you can work on through your thoughts, and you can change that reality. And Anyway, the power of imagination is incredible. So like and subscribe to my channel. Please share it with others, and also click on the link in the comments below. I forget to involve people as I'm talking because I get excited, but I want you to comment in the comments if you struggle with your imagination, or maybe you don't. I want to hear, how is your imagination going? How is your life going? We all have improvements to make in our life, but we can all do certain things to help our imagination spark and kick in. So I offer a 12-week course for Christian women, 12-week online course to where we delve deep into healing spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, and getting our bodies in alignment so that we can feel balanced. And I delve into it deep, and I have homework assignments and worksheets and different things that I share each week. And then you get a one-on-one phone call with me of how things are going. It's April 1st. It starts April 1st and it goes to June 17th. I said January 17th. April 1st to June 17th of 2024. Sign up for that class. Bring your mom, bring your sisters, bring your tribe, okay? And come on a healing journey with me, and it will be fantastic. Okay, God bless. Again, like and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.